Am I the only one who knows about zombies around here?
Oh look, Dead Rising is getting its own movie.
Hey, watch the road! Look out!
So it looks okay in a cheap and cheerful sci-fi channel kind of way, but really, we shouldn't be expecting much from it. We all know video game movies are notoriously bad, right? I mean, there's a few passable ones out there, I guess, but mainly thanks to the cinematically challenged director Uwe Boll, movie adaptations of video games have a bit of a shoddy reputation.
Is that your gun?
So, video game movies then. Not great overall and probably best avoided altogether. But what about the televisual adaptations of games? There are some great game-based shows for the small screen out there, although those are mainly anime imports, and there are a few shows that, while technically bad, are fondly remembered, like Captain N or the Super Mario Super Show. However, just like video game movies, there are some proper stinkers out there. What follows is a list of the worst of the worst. Tragic TV adaptations that not only spit on the source material, but also spit in the eye of the viewer. Magic.
Supernatural things, magic and sorcery, they're back.
Did you know there's a really good Darkstalkers animated series out there called Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge? No? Well, there is, and this isn't it. This one, Darkstalkers the animated series, is the opposite of really good and should be avoided at all cost.
Now, young man, you are going to sit still and not say a word.
Do you run on batteries, or are you plugged in somewhere? You got video games? I like video games. Of course, I never played video games, but if I did, I bet I would like them a lot. You got Space Invaders? Oh, that's my favorite.
Based on Capcom's Gothic Fighter, this show ran for only one series before the plug was mercifully pulled. Now, a video game based around constant fist-to-face violence featuring super sexualised characters isn't really the best source material for a Saturday morning kids cartoon, so it can come as no surprise that the producers angered the superfans by sanitising the storyline, messing with the lore and cocking up the character designs.
All hail the Imperial pudding! There are lizards in my pants!
To make the show as kid-friendly as possible, the storyline was dumbed down to a simple tale of good versus evil. Sexy succubus and fan favourite Morrigan became a villain alongside Dimitri and a space alien called Pyron, while the always underdressed Catwoman Felicia started hanging out in the bedroom of a young boy called Harry. Whoa! Which, to be honest, considering her outfit, is highly inappropriate behaviour. What would his mother say?
And where's the sorcerer? I must see him. Hey! There's no sorcerer here.
Harry, a descendant of Merlin, turns out to be the main protagonist of the show, created exclusively, one would guess, to make the whole thing more relatable to kids. And so what follows is 13 episodes of badly written dialogue, dodgy animation, terrible jokes, and, snow-vomiting Sasquatches. Worst special power ever. To its credit, the show almost became so bad it's good thanks to a curiously attractive fishman and the meme-spawning joke that ran throughout the series, but everything else in there is suckier than a succubus.
Though you are strangely attractive for a fishman.
Even though you are curiously attractive for a fishman.
Oh, you're almost pretty. For a fishman?
Darkstalkers will return.
It better bloody not. If there's anything more grating to the ears than my voiceovers, it has to be this catchphrase from the 1989 The Legend of Zelda cartoon.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Uttered on 29 separate occasions throughout its 13-episode run by a weird surf bro sex pest alternate universe version of everyone's favourite mute hero Link, this is another prime example of producers messing with the source material in a bid to appeal to a TV audience and failing hard.
Wow. Excuse me, princess.
Rather than saving the world, Link's prime motivation in the Legend of Zelda TV show seems to revolve around getting off with Princess Zelda, with the running joke being that just as he's about to score, something interrupts them.
Ooh-wee! What fun! Kiss me, princess.
Sure, why not? I guess it won't spoil the day too much.
While most episodes do feature Ganon attempting to yoink the Triforce of Wisdom from Zelda, the epic storylines of the game world are pushed aside in favour of plots that revolve around things like the saving of a water park or doing chores around the castle. But yeah, mainly it's just Link trying to douchebag his way into Zelda's pants.
Now get this belt off.
No,
What do you want?
a kiss. Come on.
No.
Then we stay like this.
Oh, all right. I suppose you do deserve some reward.
On a more positive note, the show allowed Princess Zelda to be much more than the damsel in distress that she often is in the video games. And in between dodging the sexual advances of lecherous Link, she shows she's more than capable of fighting her own battles by dispensing justice with a laser-firing crossbow. All in all though, nothing can stop unlikable Link and The Legend of Zelda from being held up as one of the worst TV adaptations of a video game ever.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Oh, shut the f*** up.
Battletoads.
Back in the early 90s, everyone wanted to get a slice of the action from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The worldwide phenomenon meant that animation studios and toy companies rushed to churn out half-baked imitations, like Biker Mice from Mars and Extreme Dinosaurs. So it's really no surprise that money-hungry TV execs decided to leapfrog onto the back of Rare's much-loved beat-em-up franchise and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wannabe, Battletoads. Frog marched into cancellation after the initial abysmal 30-minute-long pilot episode. The Battletoads spin-off cartoon starred 3 Californian high school nerds, who were given the ability to transform into anthropomorphic toads by a princess and her vulture scientist sidekick, who arrive from another universe seeking shelter from their nemesis, the Dark Queen.
I've come for the girl, T-Bird. Battletoads, defend the princess! Here we go with our battle cry. Battletoads, Battletoads.
Right from the off, with its Beach Boys plagiarising intro, Battletoads takes animation and dopey dialogue to a new level. It's littered with awful catchphrases like
Psychotronic!
and
Cosmorific!
and it actually makes you feel dumber just by watching it.
Gosh!
The show is packed with shady sexual innuendos too, but I can't work out whether they are intentional or just happy accidents created by the show's lazy production. For example, when we're introduced to the Dark Queen's castle, not only are we treated to a tilt down something that looks suspiciously penisy, but then we get fed this classic line of dialogue.
You'll have to enter through the base, climb the central shaft, and break in at the top!
And no one climbing my central shaft without permission.
Watch me evolve, fellow toads!
Deliberate or incompetent, God only knows, but at least we can thank him that it never frog-spawned a full series. Battletoads? More like Battle Turds.
Let's hear it! Toads rule!
The trouble with Bubsy is he tries too hard. He tried too hard to be a Mario and Sonic beater way back during the early 90s video game mascot boom, and in this failed TV pilot from 1993, he tries too hard to be wacky and cool. If this was the writer's attempt to appeal to the attitude-loving audiences of the Ninja Turtles or Bart Simpson, then they missed the mark by miles.
What could possibly go wrong?
There's nothing cool about Bubsy's personality, nothing edgy or streetwise. Basically, he just comes across as a complete and utter arsehole.
And because I'm a hero, for crying out loud, if that's a crime, then book me.
Yay, Bubsy, yay!
As a video game mascot, he was overhyped and unlikable. His games unsuccessfully tried to rip off Sonic the Hedgehog's fast-paced formula and were mediocre at best, if not downright terrible. For these reasons alone, the decision to turn his exploits into a cartoon is a rather odd one, but I guess the TV execs were subscribers to Bubsy's massively overused catchphrase, "What could possibly go wrong?"
What could possibly go wrong?
Cancellation after only one episode, that's what. Famous actor Rob Paulson appears in the CV-spoiling lead role of Bubsy the Bobcat, a character whose sole purpose in life seems to be aggravating everyone around him, especially his reluctant sidekick Arnold the Armadillo, who quite rightly hates him immensely.
Bubsy! Oh, worse than a truck.
Oh, come on. You know I'm your hero.
You're not.
Comedy in Bubsy is almost non-existent, with most jokes falling flat and supporting characters that are just as annoying as the lead, especially the twins whose voices are the vocal equivalent of claws down a blackboard.
Oh, look! Arnold wants to play ball!
They wanted to create a hero, but in reality, Bubsy the cartoon isn't fit to line a litter box.
No, I think the helmet's shorted out. You're probably just being electrocuted.
I knew that. I was just testing you, babe. Besides, what could possibly go wrong? Right, Arnie? Although the only show in this list to be based entirely on a character rather than a full game, in this case the bad guy from the Super Mario Brothers, King Koopa's Kool Kartoons is by far the worst possible TV adaptation of a video game license ever. When the acronym for your show is one letter off that of a cross-burning hate movement, you'd think most people would go back to the drawing board. But not the production team behind the KKKK, who were obviously desperate to leech as much money off the Mario Brothers fad as possible. Acting like a Krusty the Clown style MC, a man in a really bad Koopa costume would begin each show by leading a Koopa troop of children into a TV studio, where he'd then fluff out the 30-minute runtime by showing dire animated shorts that were nothing to do with the actual Mario cartoons. Behind the cheap and creepy Koopa guys playing a grotbag style bad guy who's actually secretly nice was one Chris Latter, who was thankfully better known for being the voice of Starscream in the G1 Transformers cartoon.
I now lead the Decepticons. What?
Joined by his sidekick Ratso, who was one half hand puppet, other half dog in a crap costume, Koopa would end each show by giving one lucky child a special prize, which in the case of this episode was a Nintendo Power Glove.
Guys, give away a Power Glove here to Maurice Brown of Whittier. He wins a Mattel Power Glove. I'll be giving away a Toys R Us $100 gift certificate, so stay tuned. If you're a member of the Fox...
King Koopa's Kool Kartoons was a nightmare-inducing, cheaply produced, cash-grabbing spin-off of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and a complete and utter Koopa pooper. Now, I think you'll find it hard to come up with any examples of video game-based TV shows worse than the ones I've listed here. But if you do, let us know in the comments below so everyone can avoid them at all costs. Thanks for watching, one and all. If you enjoyed this listicle, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and delicately caress that subscribe button with your pointy thing.
What could possibly go wrong?